Hi everyone, aloha, aloha. Today I'm feeling celebratory and post Thanksgiving really grateful. And I'm hopping on in the spirit of appreciation and celebration. I'm hopping on to celebrate how far my clients have come so far in the last literally four-ish weeks. Four-ish weeks, some of them, and some of them have just started. One of the things in business that happens is we don't take time to slow down to appreciate just how far we've come and appreciate all of the things that are happening for us, to us in our space. And especially whenever we sign on for investments such as coaching, mentorship type investments, or even if we sign on with energy workers and things like that. So today I wanted to take time to appreciate their transformations, both financial and not financial. And I wanted to go ahead and highlight just how far they've come in the last literally 4 weeks, some of them 4 weeks, some of them less. So, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I wanted to appreciate what is happening in my business. I wanted to appreciate my clients and give them a shout out and tell them that I'm proud of them for everything that they've done so far, no matter how small or how big of a milestone. So, in just a second, I'm going to go ahead and share this to my group. I just started a watch party. I don't even know how that works, but okay. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I would like to give this appreciation for their transformation and for how much they've shown up and the things that they're doing and the kind of milestones that they're hitting. So without further ado, I'm going to start off with my brandest newest client because she just signed on and we just started last week. Even in just a short week, what has happened with her is she went from this notion of passive manifestation and passive spirituality to really quick action taking. And more importantly, she is realizing that a lot of the things that she has created in the past are now actually can serve her business. She has created a lot of content. She has created a lot of opt-ins. She has created a lot of systems in the past, but she has discounted it before. So in just one session, what we have done is created a sense of value for a lot of the things that she has created in the past and showed her that, hey, none of this is actually starting from scratch. You have done this before. Because for her, what has happened is she has dived in so much to the world of spirituality. And then I show up and I'm kind of the translator, the bridge between of spirituality and strategy because I combine both in my business. So what she's been on one end too much, and now we're infusing her with that action energy. But what has really happened for her is this notion of clarity. She's like, wow, this has been like so obvious of what my gifts are and what I'm actually meant to do in the world. And showed her that she's done it before time and time again, that she's not actually a noob starting from scratch. So she's actually written a book before that she has completely not valued in the past. So we infuse her with this sense of value. And this has only been just in one session. She has gained such huge clarity and has seen such huge value in all of the things that she has created and how she can compile them now to move forward. She has seen just how valuable her work is. From part of my process is helping people dig up their testimonials, dig up any kind of feedback that they have had before for the services that they have provided, whether it be for free or for pay, to show them like just how transformative their services are. So after we have done that, um, this was so sweet. In our first session, she literally had tears in her eyes by the time we were done. And I want to, you know who you are if you are my client and you're watching this. I'm not going to mention publicly, just for the sake of anonymity right now, but I will later on. And if you are watching, I am very proud of you. I'm super proud of you for A, taking quick, swift action, and B, for just seeing, like, wow, the things that I do matter. And right now, by choosing this and by choosing to start a business and by choosing to invest in myself, I am actually valuing everything that I have done in the past that perhaps I have thrown away before. So, my next client, we have recently shifted her out of this notion of self-sabotage and like really, really crazy, almost haunting thoughts to the point of where it was crippling her. It was really crippling her to take any kind of forward action on anything, really, on any kind of decisions. She had like insomnia, she couldn't sleep well, she was plagued with like really crazy energies, and she is starting like an interior design type business combined with this notion of sacred space. So, what we have created so far is we created a whole like networking and outreach strategy, because what she has right now, she has the skills of how to do it. She has done it before and she didn't also realize the value of it. So what we have done is we have compiled all of her testimonials yet again. We have compiled all of the skills that she's learning in her interior design class, and we created her first offer. We created her first offer. We created a process by which she's going to go ahead and reach out to people. And more importantly, we created a whole networking and outreach strategy, because before she was like, oh gosh, I don't even know like who's actually going to buy this. Like, how can I infuse these two concepts of the sacred space and of interior design, right? So we have infused it through the process of market research. We have done some amazing dispelling rituals in our conversations and in our sessions so far. And in our last session, she's just like, I'm so ready. I just like don't know who to reach out to. That's been her number one problem, is like, how do I find the people? So now we have compiled this amazing outreach strategy and networking strategy for her, and now she's sending it. Like, she is ready. She went from like really self-sabotaging, fearful, completely like almost cowardly, like, and I use it in a loving way, but she went from being like almost cowardly and like paralyzed on all the ideas and not really believing in herself, to now having an offer and knowing that it's worth like $3,000 and being ready as hell to go sell it. She's just like, I am so ready. And we have empowered her with some amazing tools where she can dispel anxiety and depression and things like that on her own. Where if I can't get to my phone, because I allow my clients to reach out to me throughout the week, and I answer, intermittently. So whenever she can't get to me, I have empowered her, and she has empowered herself to take it upon herself to utilize the tools that I have taught her to dispel anxiety and self-sabotage and these kind of circling thoughts within minutes. Within minutes, like poof, and they're gone. And she's finally feeling like she's being productive. She's finally feeling like she has a structure to her day. Even though she is in a 9 to 5, she is actively working towards her mission and her business without taking that much time out of her day right now. And I have shown her by helping her create a structure that allows her to feel productive. So she's not just like, oh, what the heck do I do with myself? And she is now, like I said, able to dispel anxiety. She has an amazing outreach and networking plan now, and she is sending it. She is sending it. Oh, and the best part is she just manifested 2,200 pounds. Yep, she manifested 2,200 pounds. And this is both through action and energy work that we have been doing. She just texted me on Thanksgiving yesterday. She's like, yeah, oh, by the way, it worked. I got $2,200 out of just like an unexpected source. Unexpected source. So that was freaking amazing. Random manifestation of money. And my next client had a lot of intermixed like messages in their marketing. He was very scattered, and he was utilizing his business as a creative outlet instead of utilizing it like an infusion of the two, because you could be creative in your business and you could have creative marketing approaches. However, what has been going on with him, he was not being seen as the authority. So one of the biggest transformations that we have done for him is his relationship with his own inner authority, his relationship with his own inner critic, his relationship with his own like indecisive, oh God, should I do this or should I do this? Should I be more this way? Should I be more in action, or should I be more in creativity? Because I feel like if I'm here, then I'm doing this part wrong. So what we have done for him is we have infused him with this sense of inner authority, being able to create strong boundaries within his business, without feeling like he's going to jeopardize any kind of harmony in the community. So one of the things that he really values is creating amazing relationships, is creating relationships with his community, is creating relationship in the online space, and creating those kind of meaningful, lasting relationships, and sharing not only creativity but also value. He really values people creatively expressing and exploring however it is that they are. However, he's had a difficult time doing that himself, but more importantly, he's had a really difficult time tying it in to a business aspect. So now what we have done, we have empowered him to take a stance where authority within yourself, especially as a creative being, because a lot of people that have creative businesses have this thought of like, well, a lot of the strategies and a lot of the systems are actually crimping my style. They're actually not allowing me to be fully me. They're actually kind of blocking things. Like, I don't want to follow yet another strategy. I don't want another funnel or a system. So what happens with a lot of creative entrepreneurs is you feel like, well, if I follow any kind of strategy or if I set any kind of boundaries, it's going to completely mess up my flow. So what we have done instead is install a loose structure that allows him to also feel productive throughout his day and infuse, not leave out, but infuse his creativity in order to take that authoritative stance as somebody who people can buy from. So what has happened too, he had an offer that was worth £3,000 after we have gone through a process of showing him just how valuable everything he does for people is, both in his coaching and in his video work, because it's an offer that combines the two. When we did that process, which is part of my Coalesce program, is what we do is we create a process specifically designed with and for your gifts, right? So what we do then is we go step by step by step after we perform some really amazing market research. We go step by step by step and we create a process. Whenever you do that, what that does is it shows you your own value about how amazing your service actually is. After we have done that, he upped the price tag to £5,000 and he had a sales call. He almost had the sale, unfortunately, but it was not an aligned client. It was not somebody who was ready. So now he is booking 2 more sales calls with other people who are willing and ready to actually pay these prices because now he sees the value of his work. And he has gone from utilizing his business as kind of a creative outlet to now infusing his creativity in order to create amazing marketing messages, which is freaking amazing. So my next client that I'm really, really proud of, she does pre, during, and postpartum support. So she has completed her doula training. However, we are doing something bigger with her, okay? So we're creating an offer, and we have created an offer that helps women that are 7 months pregnant and into postpartum. So we have created like an ongoing support. And mind you, this client has gone from being like, I have no idea where to start with this, to now creating an offer that costs $4,000 and has gotten a prospect within minutes of us creating it. Like, that's some next level magic right there. As soon as we have dreamt up of this prospect that was ideal for this offer, she manifested pretty much a sales conversation. She essentially manifested a sales conversation, right? So what happened before with this client was really interesting, and I find this a lot. I find this actually to be very common among spiritual entrepreneurs, is a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs do not want to disrupt this notion of community. And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs have a lot of gruff about charging money for their services. They're like, well, the community around me is going to look at me funny. And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs really, really, really value community, right? So what happens is a lot of times, for a spiritual entrepreneur, whenever they create an offer, and especially one that whose prices are way above what people around you are charging for a similar service, you may feel like you have this imposter syndrome, and you may feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to disrupt the harmony within the community. So what happens, like I said, is you start to feel like you have to dim yourself in order to create harmony within the group that you're in, because like, oh my gosh, how are they going to look at me when I tell them how much I'm charging and how much I'm choosing to charge for my services? How are they going to are they going to accept me? So my client went from fearing this because she really values community. She's a very spiritual person. She really values community. So she went from fearing this to instead now telling people, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the kind of offer that I have, with confidence and with full value. And now, after she started telling people, she has actually been receiving support. So a lot of these stories that we tell ourselves, like, oh my gosh, what will they think of me when I tell them my prices, indeed ended up being completely different for her anyway. And for most part, that's kind of how it goes if you're in the right community of people. And if you're not, well, then you should get a new community of people. But the very notion of this community that she was fearing, of being like, oh my God, I have to dim myself. What if I tell them how much I'm charging? Like, they're going to look at me like I'm nuts. Instead, they were like, oh my God, fuck yeah, you go, girl. Like, your services are amazing. The kind of offer that you have is incredible. Because we have infused her offer with like meetups of dancing, where she takes her clients dancing. Like, it's fucking amazing. She takes her clients on beach days. Like, who has that in their mentorship offers, right? Like, that is freaking cool. We also have infused her offer with something really unique. So, like I said, she does not only like pre, post, but also, or the pre, during, and postpartum support. So this pre-birth, one of the things in her offer is where she takes the pregnant woman to go meet with other people in the community, so that the woman has support and doesn't feel alone during her pregnancy, and especially teaches them how to breastfeed. She takes them to like breastfeeding meetups. So she has infused that into her offer, which is freaking amazing, and it's super creative. And now, whenever she tells people about her services, they're like, yes, and they're in full support of her goals. So, a lot of times, the reason why I mention her and why this is important is because, yet again, I will reiterate this point. As a spiritual entrepreneur, a lot of times we have this notion of like, oh my God, I can only be spiritual or I can be rich. Like, I can't be both. And the whole notion of spirituality is that we're meant to be abundant. We're meant to shine and we're meant to expand. And the spiritual community, if they are truly indeed practicing these principles of abundance within themselves and within others, and want others to shine just as bright, the kind of community that you then get, or the kind of community that and support that you then get whenever you show up in that full divinity and state like, this is what I'm doing now, this is my offer, and it comes straight from the heart in full integrity, and this is how much I'm charging, more often than not, the people are going to be in full support of you. And if they're not, then it's something within you that's unaligned, or it's something within them that's unaligned. And this is the part that we work through in my program, of where's that misalignment. Is it actually coming from a space of integrity? Then if not, then we tweak it to make sure that it is, because every one of us deserves to be divinely compensated for our gifts, as long as they're coming from the space of high currency, high frequency, high integrity, and high purity. And that is what I stand for in my business. So lastly, my last client recently just landed a $4,000 deal. We have only met twice so far. Since the first session, she is a very busy loan officer. Super busy loan officer. And what she wanted was to create more of energetic opening for money to come in. And as I started working with her, I was like, okay, not only do we need to create space energetically, but we also need to create a new channel through which money can come in. She was initially very resistant, like supremely resistant to building any kind of new businesses, because she was in the state of like, I need to control like what I have got going on, and I need to seek solace in the systems that I have created so far, which is this, and this is kind of how this is the only way that it can go. So in the first session, what we did is we created a lot of energetic opening and a lot of space and time in her day where she can play and where she can be more herself. We have pretty much looked at where in her life she has energetic drain and where in her life she's not being fully herself. Because you see what happens, money ends up getting crimped if we don't, or if we're not actually functioning from a space of joy, from a space of brilliance that is innate within us, if we're not actually following this the set of gifts that we have that are unique to us as individuals. So for her, what was going on, she's being capped at a certain point. And she's worked with prior mentors that have helped her unlock this, that have helped her unlock this, but it was not consistent. So our goal is to help her create these kinds of windfalls of cash, but consistently. And the way we do that is by opening up any kind of space and time in her day, by divulging what her gifts are, and allowing her to be more of herself throughout the day and creating time and space for her to do that. Because the more you actually spend in that joyous energy, the more time you spend in that joyous energy, the more you have these kind of creative downloads, which actually make the random manifestations of money happen. So within the first session, after the first session, she got this $4,000 deal come through, which is amazing. The other thing that has happened, she manifested an office that was a complete upgrade from her original office. And we're now creating more harmony in her personal, well, romantic relationship. And just in the last session alone, we have pretty much divulged like a whole new business model for her that's going to open a whole new different channel. In addition to this $4,000 deal that she got, we essentially created a $12,000 offer and a realistic strategy on how to carry that out. In addition to creating space and time for her to be more of herself and more playful and more expressed in who she really is. Who wouldn't want that? Who would not want that? So right now, I know, like I said, some of the clients that I have mentioned have signed on with me 4 weeks ago. This latest client has been with me for only 2 weeks, and she got this $4,000 deal come through, which is fucking amazing. The kind of work that I do with my clients is both strategic and energetic, and I leave no stone unturned. I make sure that the kind of business foundations we set are always coming from the heart, are always from the space of highest integrity and highest energetic frequency and currency, to make sure that they're actually coming from a space of where the client feels honored within their gifts. I'm going to turn on the light. There we go. I hope you guys can see me now. Okay. So the kind of work that I do is not just, okay, we're going to create the strategy and we're going to make that go. Because every client has a different set of gifts. And the more we can have my clients be in that kind of little zone, in their happy zone of the things that they do naturally that come easily to them, the easier it's going to be for them to actually be dedicated to their business. The easier it's going to be for them to create different business strategies, to create random $4,000 deals or create random 22,000 pound manifestations of money. The easier it's going to be. So while I teach them the strategic implementation, and while we go through a very thorough process of market research and offer creation and matchmaking, that's the word, sorry, the client matchmaking process, to make sure that the kind of gifts that they're sharing are going to be for the clients that are going to benefit the most from them. Okay, so while I do that, and while I do these kind of business foundations, what happens on the back end is we dispel so much fears. We dispel anxiety. We create space for people to actually be more playful in their daily life. We get rid of the inefficiencies and make sure that every kind of practice, whether it be a meditation or whether it be whenever you sit at your laptop to do your work, to make sure that it's efficient, to make sure the kind of time that you're spending is actually going to be useful for your business. So this is the kind of work that I do with my clients. It is very unique, and this is why I lead with the process called Coalesce, because I lead with the process of both energetic and strategic foundations, because both of those are very important. Both of those are highly important whenever you build a business, especially as a spiritual or creative entrepreneur. I truly believe in this kind of combination of both that creates quick manifestations and quick results for my clients, and have them achieve these kind of personal transformations and have them have these big shifts just through 1 or 2 sessions, energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and feel empowered to continue onward in this path without me having to hold their hand too much. I mean, I do, and that's what I provide. I do provide a lot of hand holding from the start, especially to those who need it. So having said that, you guys, there's only 4 weeks left of the year, and it is very possible for you to have 22,000 pounds come in or 4,000 pounds come in before the end of the year. just like it did for my clients. Okay, it is very possible for you to create your next $5,000 offer and sell it by New Year's Eve of this year. It is very possible. I have a couple of different ways that you can work with me. I have a 6-week intensive, and this is for a person who has an audience. This is for a person who perhaps has sold before. This is for a person who perhaps requires a little bit more clarity on their messaging, on their marketing, and on their offer creation. Perhaps they have been in this online game for a while and they know different strategies that I don't have to uh, give you a lot of different ideas. But this is for a person who needs a power up in like a boot camp type of style. So this is a 6-week intensive. It's ideally for a spiritual or creative entrepreneur who really requires clarity. So that's who this is for. Then I have a program that is 3 months long, and I don't have a sales page for that. But in order to talk to me about that one, there's my scheduling link. It doesn't cost you anything to speak with me about this. You guys, your life can literally change in 4 weeks. And this program, this is ideally for a person who has a big vision and has no idea where the hell to start. And we start you off on both the foundations of strategy, marketing, messaging, offer creation, everything like that, in addition to the energetic and emotional foundations of stepping into the entrepreneurial space. And you guys, as you have heard, I work with a variety of individuals. It's not just coaches or healers or energy workers. I work with an interior designer. I work with a loan officer. I work with a videographer. Okay, I work with a plant medicine practitioner, or she's also doing nutritional coaching and is also creating sacred gardens for people. So no vision is too big for me to extrapolate action steps upon, and the kind of processes that I utilize are, they work. They work, and I'm an endless vessel of creativity in order to brainstorm, network, and outreach type of strategies with you, in addition to teaching you the manifestation strategies where you can then rely on yourself to empower yourself to reach out and create different marketing and outreach strategies for yourself. But we do a lot of hand holding and a lot of brainstorming in this program. It allows you more space and more time to really kind of ground into your vision and make sure that it's built in the right foundation. So if you have been in business before and if you have sold it before, if your vision is very unique, then the 3-month program may be the best one for you. And my newest one, this is ideally for somebody who has already been in business for at least 2 to 3 years, who's already making consistently 5 to 10, maybe 15K and is capped. This is for somebody who doesn't have enough time. Okay, this is for somebody who right now is feeling like they're spinning their wheels and they're working their ass off to create that consistent 10 to 15K, and is feeling like something needs to change because you want to spend more time with your family, you want to spend more time traveling, you want to spend more time enjoying the world. This is for you. So my new program called Timeless, it's also a 3-month experience. What we do through this program is we really look at all of your inefficiencies. We look at where you have energetic and money drains. We go through pretty much like a feng shui of your life, because energy is energy is energy, and that's just how it is. And I am very energetically keen, so I can spot these kind of energetic clusters that are holding you from either your next income level or where it's hiding in your body. So in this program, I literally leave no stone unturned. It's pretty much the programs that I've just described to you, where we refine our marketing, offer creation, messaging. However, this is for somebody, like I said, who's already been in business and who's already learned the ropes and who's already making consistent 10 to 15,000 and is capped right now and is spinning their wheels and is feeling like, how can I scale sustainably so that I don't burn myself out? This program is done for you. We take a look at your body, we take a look at your relationships, we take a look at where you're spending time that is not in your zone of genius, because a lot of times whenever you're making money, when you're just like hustling and grinding, that's exactly what's going to cap you, because you're not actually doing it from a space that allows you to expand sustainably. So this is my newest program, and that's called Timeless. I'm gonna drop the link for any of them. You can use any of them to book a call with me. Nadina's work. You could use any of the links that I dropped down to book a call with me to figure out which program is for you, how your goals can be met in the bestest of ways, how I can support you in creating your next either $5, $10, or $20,000 or more, how I can support you energetically as well as strategically. So go ahead and reach out, and by the time that it's 2020, you guys, you can be stepping into 2020 with a whole different reality. So, having said that, I look forward to speaking with you, and I really want to go ahead and say thank you to my clients for showing up for yourself, for doing the work, you guys. I'm so proud of you, really proud of you for really showing up and stepping up and showing the world who you are and being fearless in pursuit of your dreams and not taking no for an answer. Those are the kinds of people that I'm looking for. If this is you and if you're looking for a change going into 2020, then I look forward to speaking with you. And on that note, you guys, mahalo, ke akua. Whoever's popping on, I am actually popping off. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.